Carlos Alcaraz isn't just the future of tennis, he's a big deal in the tennis world right now. At just 20 years old, he's already won 2 Grand Slam titles, and his rivalry with Djokovic for the top spot has kept fans on the edge of their seats since he claimed his first world #1 ranking last year. Now let's find out what tennis legends have to say about this rising star, Chris Evert. The tennis world has been waiting for someone to step up and become the next big thing after legends like Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, and Roger Federer. But finally, according to former WTA #1 Chris Evert, that time has come, and his name is Carlos Alcaraz. Evert is absolutely amazed by Alcaraz's game. She believes he doesn't have any clear weaknesses that opponents can exploit, except on days when he's not playing at his best. She said, "I don't know how he can improve anymore." What sets Alcaraz apart, according to Evert, is that he's incredibly strong both defensively and offensively. She explained, "Other top players in the past have been brilliant, but you always felt like there was some sort of weakness in their game. Carlos, the way he is defensively and the way he is offensively, no other player can do those 2 aspects as well as he can." Evert also mentioned that Alcaraz is the best mover on the ATP Tour, which means he's exceptionally quick and agile on the court. But it's not just his physical abilities that make him special. He also has a strong mental game, unwavering self-confidence, and a deep passion for the sport. Evert sees in him the qualities of a champion, including focus, hunger, and an unbridled passion for the game. However, Boris Becker, another tennis legend, holds a different perspective on the Spanish player. Boris Becker, a former tennis world #1, has some important insights about Carlos Alcaraz and his potential to become a tennis great. He warns that while Alcaraz has what it takes to excel in the sport, it's not guaranteed, and there are important factors to consider. Becker points out that in tennis, there's a cycle of great players, with each generation having its own champions. Becker stated, "First of all, it's a very difficult mantle to take over. Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic weren't only tennis heroes, they were sporting heroes. They are cultural icons." You talk about the young Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz as the next hot thing. He's amazing, he plays great, he looks good, and he has the full package as a tennis superstar. But there's a lot more to it than playing tennis. You have to come back, you have to defend your titles, you become a representative of your country, and you're getting into boxes you didn't know existed before. Becker also emphasizes the humanity of tennis players. They're not infallible and can make mistakes like anyone else. The pressure and scrutiny they face can be challenging, and it's important to remember that they are individuals with their own struggles. He stated, "We have to be careful. Nobody is perfect, and we have to watch that these tennis players are people, and people make mistakes." John McEnroe. In a recent interview, the iconic John McEnroe had some remarkable words of praise for Carlos Alcaraz, saying he's the best tennis player he's ever seen at the age of 20. McEnroe believes that Alcaraz has reached a level that no other 20-year-old player in history has achieved, performing exceptionally well on various court surfaces and in major tournaments. McEnroe's admiration for Alcaraz is evident in his words. "What Carlos Alcaraz has accomplished in the past year is nothing short of incredible. He's positioned himself among the ranks of Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal. In fact, he's the most exceptional player I've ever seen at his age. It's truly astonishing how remarkably strong he already is." While McEnroe's statement might raise some eyebrows, it's not entirely without reason. Both Alcaraz and Nadal had won 2 Grand Slam titles by the age of 20. Nadal's victories came mostly on the clay courts of the French Open, whereas Alcaraz boasted a US Open and a Wimbledon title. However, it's worth noting that Nadal had already clinched 6 ATP Masters titles by this point, with 4 of those coming in an extraordinary 2005 season where he won a total of 11 titles. In contrast, Carlos Alcaraz's year hasn't been as packed with titles, with 6 to his name in 2023 so far. What makes Alcaraz stand out is his climb to the top of the ATP rankings, something Nadal achieved at the age of 22. Before we move on, we know you wouldn't want to miss out on more exclusive content like this, so make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to stay updated with all the latest in the world of tennis. Let's continue. Mats Wilander. Mats Wilander, a former world #1 tennis player from Sweden, is no stranger to the tennis world's rising talents. He made a splash himself in the early 1980s when he unexpectedly clinched the 1982 French Open at the tender age of 17. Now, when asked about his impressions of Carlos Alcaraz, he had some compelling insights to share. What struck Wilander most about Alcaraz was not just his on-court prowess, but also his attitude and demeanor. Wilander remarked, "It's just his attitude, his appearance. He's so relaxed and that's what impresses me. He's having fun." Wilander sees in Alcaraz all the qualities of a champion. He believes that Alcaraz isn't just focused on short-term success. Instead, he envisions his tennis career spanning over a decade, aiming for long-term excellence. "I'm sure that he's thinking 12, 13, 14, 15 more years of this, and he's going to be winning a lot," Wilander commented. Alcaraz's maturity is evident not just in his game, but also in his mentality. According to Wilander, he's a fighter comparable to the likes of the legendary trio of Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic. He believes that Alcaraz possesses a rare quality that sets him apart even from the most prominent names in tennis history. Wilander stated, "I've never seen a tennis player like that, and I have to include Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic. Alcaraz is at a different level at this stage of his career." Ivan Lendl. Ivan Lendl, a prominent figure in the tennis world, has joined the chorus of praise for the current world #1, Carlos Alcaraz, offering his insights during an appearance on the Craig Shapiro Tennis Podcast. Lendl, who boasts an impressive 94 titles to his name, had glowing words for the young Spanish sensation and expressed his belief that Alcaraz's future in the sport is destined for greatness. Lendl's admiration for Alcaraz was evident as he described him as an extremely polite young man. He not only acknowledged Alcaraz's existing prowess, but also emphasized that the young player is on a trajectory of continual improvement. "Alcaraz is pretty good, and he's only going to get better for a while," Lendl commented, underlining the bright future that lies ahead for the Spanish talent. When asked about his favorite among the younger generation of players, Lendl chose not to pick a favorite specifically. However, he had high praise for Alcaraz and his coaching team, led by former player Juan Carlos Ferrero. Ferrero was recently honored with the 2022 ATP Coach of the Year award. Lendl commended Ferrero and the coaching team for their excellent work in guiding Alcaraz's career. Lendl stated, "I know Carlos Alcaraz is coached very well. He has a great team around him. Those guys are very, very good at what they do, the Spaniards. And Juan Carlos Ferrero is fantastic, and they're teaching him well. They're teaching him the right things. They're teaching him all the protocols." Novak Djokovic. In a thrilling 2023 Wimbledon final, the tennis world witnessed a historic moment as 20-year-old Carlos Alcaraz claimed his first Wimbledon title, defeating the legendary Novak Djokovic in a captivating 5-set match. Djokovic, widely regarded as one of the greatest tennis players of all time, couldn't help but express his admiration for Alcaraz's exceptional performance on the court. Following the epic match, Djokovic heaped praise on the young Spanish prodigy, acknowledging that he had never faced a player quite like Alcaraz before. Djokovic admitted, "I haven't played a player like him ever, to be honest. Roger and Rafa Nadal have their own obvious strengths and weaknesses. Carlos is a very complete player. Amazing adapting capabilities that I think are a key for longevity and for a successful career on all surfaces." According to Djokovic, Alcaraz possesses the best qualities from each of the big three, encompassing mental resilience, maturity beyond his years, and an impressive fighting spirit. Djokovic also noted Alcaraz's incredible defensive skills, reminiscent of the renowned Nadal's gameplay. Now, over to you. What's your thought about Carlos Alcaraz? Let us know in the comments section below. If you loved this video, then you should check out this video showing on your screen. See you there.